Hey everyone, welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here, hello, and indeed welcome to the show. Today we have a challenge. It is the Pedalboard Bingo Challenge. Brilliant. Dan versus Mick. But before that, please head to thatpedalshowstore.com and pick ye up some merch.
Yes, merch ye up, merch ye up.
Yes, t-shirts, journals, strings, all that kind of stuff. It's the predominant way we fund this show, and we greatly appreciate your support. And also hit that subscribe button on YouTube. It's a vanity number and we like it. Let's make it bigger. Right, as for the challenge then, Pedalboard Bingo Challenge, Dan versus Mick. The goal of the show, once we get going after all this ephemera at the beginning, is to both have 3 pedals selected at random for us. And to do that, we're playing bingo, obviously.
Of course.
On the table are 20 prizes. Check them out. And you can see a list of them here. In this bag, this is budget. This is budget. In this bag, please stop doing that. In this bag are 20 ping pong balls, also known as table tennis balls, each adorned with a number that represents one of these prizes. Here's the list. Honestly, how we got here, I don't know. And like actual bingo, numbers will be drawn in turn. The first player who matches 3 numbers on their card has to shout bingo.
Okay.
Which isn't like proper bingo, because you'd have to match all the numbers on the card. I've never been north of Bristol. I don't know what bingo is, so so it's not really like bingo at all. Anyway, the player that gets the first 3 numbers doesn't really win anything, but at least it's a relatively random way of selecting pedals.
Okay.
The remaining player must continue to examine their balls until 3 pedals have been picked. If you're new to That Pedal Show, welcome. Once picked, each player will then have this. Right, now we get to the point.
Okay.
Once picked, each player will then have to choose 1 guitar and 1 amp with which to complete their 3-pedal rig to cover a range of sounds of their choosing.
Okay.
So basically, what we're trying to do is select 3 pedals at random. Anyway, the winner shall be whoever Hayden decides is the winner. So who will get a full house? Let's find out.
Okay.
Players, pick your card. There's 2 cards.
2 cards.
No, we haven't got any marking devices.
That's okay.
We need some pens, Hayden. Hand us some pens.
Shuffle the 2 cards. All right. Oh, that one.
See, look, cards. See.
Oh wow. Okay. This is professional.
This is serious.
It is very
Cheers,
serious.
buddy. No worries.
Okay.
Okay. Now, players,
Fondle thy balls.
get ready. I'm looking for the next number. Well, yeah.
Okay.
3.
No, this could take a while.
Bucket of cheese. 3.
$13.
Oh yes. Something mean. 13.
Long and lean.
Long and lean. That's good.
13.
Yep. Great.
Could take a while. 76.
76. Don't be a dicks. 76. Oh, and that's me.
If you throw the balls everywhere, the dog's going to get them all.
42.
I am on a roll.
42. Oh no, 42. Dog will do the poo.
Bingo!
Dan's 1.
Sorry, I got excited then. I might have destroyed the microphone. But bingo!
Dan's won the challenge. Okay, so I need to keep playing until I've got all my numbers then.
So I get... So those are 3 pedals.
Those will be your pedals.
They'll be my pedals.
We'll reveal in a minute.
Okay.
If you've turned off, I don't blame you.
4.
4. Still not me.
That's still me.
4. What a load of... 4.
61.
Still me.
61. Still done.
Come on.
I think this is... What the hell? This is no fun. 61.
35.
Oh, finally. Bees in a hive. 35.
9 million.
Does it actually say they only go up to 90 in bingo?
1,026.
Oh, get out of town. Who did this? It's a fix. 1,026.
53.
That was like one of those YouTube videos they spend months making. Hang on, 53. Oh, thank God. Eventually. I need a wee. 53.
Very good.
That's it. We're done.
Cool.
Thank you very much, Glamorous
Thank you.
Bingo Caller.
Yes. Thank you, ball people.
Oh, that was a lot of hassle just for that, wasn't it? But it was random.
It was random.
I think we should repeat this format. Do you want to know what pedals you got then, Dan?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go on. What are your numbers?
I got 13, 42, and 76.
13 is the UA Galaxy.
Oh, cool. Right.
So one at a time. Can't open my brain.
42.
Not that large. 42. Meaning of the universe, isn't it? Meaning of life. Oh yeah. Oh my God, you've got the UA Max.
I've got 2 UA pedals.
You have. And what was the last one?
76.
The Coppersound Daedalus,
Ooh.
which is a dual reverb with expression.
Oh,
You've got a
fantastic.
compressor preamp.
Take a tape echo and reverb and dual reverb.
Oh, that's well.
I'm in.
I think well, you know where we're going with that.
Okay.
All right, I got 35. 35 is the Fjord Fuzz Berserk, which I think is one of these Fjord Fuzz ones. I'm not sure. I think it's this one.
Okay.
Fjord Fuzz Berserk. Number 3. I've got the Nordvang 83 drive. This doesn't work very well at all, has it? Oh, yes, it has. Yes, it has. Sorry, I was thinking they were the same thing.
Okay.
Nordvang 83 drive. And I've got 53, which is the UA Del-Verb. Hey, UA's done pretty well
UA's.
today. I promise you, it's random. It's perfectly random. We'll put it up. It's completely random.
Okay.
UA's done very well.
UA's done very well.
Okay, maybe we'll do some of these other things another time, but for now...
Well, this is going to be fun.
So you've got to choose a guitar and an amp to complete your rig.
Okay.
Gentlemen,
Start your...
balls. Oh, how they laughed. Right then, that's an interesting selection of pedals. I've just done a bit of Googling, and the Fjord Fuzz Berserk is a fuzz face that's got a bit more top end and reduced low end response, and doesn't have quite such abrupt cleanup. So Fuzz, super happy of that if it's in the fuzz world, fuzz face world. Secondly, the Del-Verb by Universal Audio. Let's have a look. Ambience Companion. Look at this. Look at me doing an unboxing. It's just about perfect, isn't it, for me, that? Look at that. Tape, analog, and I'm guessing a digital delay. And a spring reverb, a plate reverb, and a hall. That sounds pretty cool, and I suspect less complex than the previous UA pedals. And then Nordvang. I've heard so many good things about Nordvang pedals, but never actually played, or at least haven't played one in a long time. Now, I did just look this up online, and guess what? I've really lucked out today. I'm absolutely on home territory. It's basically their take on a Klon style circuit and a blues breaker in one go. 83s. The number should give that away for John Mayer fans, inspired by John Mayer. So, yawn, a Klon and a blues breaker in one thing, but pretty perfect for me. Now, I wonder if I can get them all on this here tiny Pedaltrain Nano. I totally can. Killer. Pedaltrain Nano. Look at that. I'm pleased. We will have some overhanging jacks, but so be it. Normally I'd put them on here. This is my tiny board that I took out to a gig yesterday. Well, I say a gig, I sat in with a friend. And that was spectacularly good sounding. So, but let's put them on this. Lovely and tiny. Okay, go. So look, we've done this many times before, but I don't think there's too many times it can be done. 3M dual lock, or indeed pedal board tape that Dan sells called the gig rig. At the gig rig, sorry. 3M dual lock on the back of the pedal. You only need small squares. In fact, you don't even need this much because it's super grippy stuff. It also, depending on the finish of your paint, does come off quite cleanly. So it's quite nice for that. It does take a minute to actually fully dry. So anyway, soft side Velcro on the pedal board and just place it on there. Give it a little firming down, and that's on there really nicely. That's not going anywhere. Connections are on the top actually. So what I am going to do is align it right to the front of the board like that, so that at least my jacks have got some chance of not getting kicked off. Okay, I'm going to repeat that for the remaining 2 pedals. Okay, last one, Nordvang with the Velcro on the bottom. Sorry, the 3M dual lock. I'd always try, whenever, if you're dealing with a small board, I'd always try and use the extremities of the board and get the pedals as far apart as possible so that when you come to step on them, you're not in danger of hitting 2 switches. Now, I probably am in danger of doing it there, but that's as much room as we've got. So the other thing I could do is differentiate them in height, but because this is a Pedaltrain Nano, it's only that tall anyway, so it's pretty small. So give that a little twist. Once they're placed, the next thing we would do generally is power. This won't take very much current. Always worth checking the manual. Okay, yeah, down here. So it's 9 volts only, 9 volt DC, center negative. Power consumption is 100 milliamps, so that's good. I know I can deal with that. There are a load of internal dip switches, and I just don't think we're going to get into that here because it just takes too long. I'm sure it's brilliant, but I really, really hate internal dip switches. Anyway, there we are. So it's going to come set and in the factory position, whatever that might be, because I just don't have time to mess with it. This one takes up to 130 milliamps, which is unusually high for a Fuzz, so not quite sure what's going on there. This one is a modern digital pedal and therefore requires quite a lot of current, 400 milliamps, 9 volts. So I know what I need. We'll just gently turn it over. Check out my high watt t-shirt. Awesome. I wore this yesterday. I put something relatively soft underneath the pedals like that so that I can get to the bottom of the board and stick on the power things that I need back in a sec. Again, covered this many times before, but it's always worth doing. I use Dan's modular power supply, the first version of it, because it's what I have. It's extremely flexible when you're always putting together loads and loads of different pedal boards. It is fiddly, can be fiddly if you just want to set and forget, but it is the most flexible, the most quiet, and the most reliable pedal power supply I have ever used. And I'm not just saying that because it's Dan. For this particular one, I need, this is called a distributor. That takes the basically the power from the wall wart, as it were. That would then come out into this, which is a high current adapter, nice and clean, gives the current that the Del-Verb is going to need. And then this device can power up to 4 things at about 120 milliamps, and I think that'll be okay with a Fuzz, but we'll see. So I'll get all that on there, and then we'll just connect them up. Okay, here we are, relatively tidy on the bottom here. The distributor, the isolator, and the Mr. Universe, as mentioned. One advantage of this power system is that you can have this bit, which is the bit that connects to the wall, away from the board. Sometimes a lot of modern digital pedals and other pedals, they will pick up a bit of noise from a power supply if they're mounted directly beneath. So one of the benefits of this system is that you can keep that away and then it's even quieter than it might have been. So if I plug this in here now, everything should work. Blue light, that's a good sign. That's powering up. That's powered up. My God, those LEDs are super bright. And that's powered up. Look at that. How cool is that? Great. So just 2 patch cables to finish. Bosh. Bosh. People ask me why I always use the purple patch cables. It's because they sound better, obviously. That's a bit too much stress on there, but anyway, we won't worry. Except when I use the black ones, and they sound just as better. For quick boards like this, I always use pre-made high quality patch cables, just because I know they're always going to work. They're soldered. If I'm going to do a board that's in situ for any length of time, gosh, I was sweating, it's so hot in here. For any length of time, I'll make up the solderless SIS ones, because once they're in situ on a board, they're fantastic because you can make them perfectly to length. But for quick stuff like this, high quality soldered stuff just takes the stress out of it for me. Dan will always make them because he's really good at making them, but I invariably always muck it up. Anyway, there we go. Amp. Well, we've got a fuzz face style, a clon and a blues breaker, and a really nice delay and reverb. It's got to be my 2-rock. It's my favourite amp of all time. I'm in absolute home territory, so I may as well use my home amp. And of course, I'm going to use my Strat because that's home for me. So I'm going home today. The pedals have dictated that I'm going home. Do I mean that?
Okay, my 3 pedals. Somehow I managed to pull out the 2 UA pedals and a Coppersound pedal. I thought it might be an overdrive, but no, it's another reverb. So I'm going to use the Dear Dario expander board. Yeah. That was nice. Okay, so it's basically double compressor. Normally, I would have this first and reverb after, but I'm wondering if I start with a reverb and put that into the compressor and then another reverb after. So or maybe it should just be, yeah, let's not try and be clever. Let's just, because I know this is going to sound great. So we'll just do it like this. Right, bit of pedalboard tape. This stuff, you can see I just cut a square and then I cut that square into 4 little triangles. And generally it's more than enough just to keep the pedal intact. So you can see it's only a tiny amount of pedalboard tape, but you really don't need much to keep these secured to Velcro. Also, if you put too much on, you can never take them off. So that's sort of more than enough. There. Lovely. Okay, last thing being power. I'm just going to grab a few of these Mr. Universe adapters, and because they're all digital, I'm assuming that is digital. I don't know what current that is. Let's see. Wow. Interesting. This is really low current draw. Interesting. Okay, so this is going to be high current draw. There we go. Back in the room.
Don't think we clicked out, but that's
No,
all right.
it's all right.
Yeah. Okay, da-da. Not any great surprises there, which we'll get to in a minute. What amp have you chosen?
I've gone for my old AC30
Why?
because I've got so much reverb that I thought an amp with negative reverb would work really well. Also, I haven't used it in a while. I want to hear it, and I think to help hear the clarity of the reverbs could be fun.
It's burbling and gurgling like a vintage amp.
It's like a vintage amp should.
For those of you who don't know, this is a 1961 Vox AC30 that's had a modification.
Yeah, there's an EF86 mod, but I'm just going to the normal channel.
Normal channel.
Normal
okay.
channel.
We shall, of course, invoke Noel's knobs.
I wonder what the settings are.
Lovely old thing that it is. You'll hear it cranked in a minute. I've gone for my Two Rock Classic Reverb Signature, which is as I've probably said in the VT, my favourite amp of all time. As we'll get into in a second, the pedal choices kind of dictated that it had to be that. This is just I am home today.
Okay.
Normally in these challenges, I tend to play away. I wear my away kit.
All right.
I usually do something that's a bit adventurous. Nothing adventurous today. Absolute home, on the subject of which
Okay.
Stratomacaster. This is my... It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Here's my Two Rock. Here's my vintage Strat. It's been 30 years in the making, but anyway, this is my 1961 Fender Strat, which is home. It's just home.
Amazing. Okay. And no surprises for me. I'm going for...
Ha
Ta-da!
Awesome. Haven't seen this guitar in ages.
Yeah.
Can you remember what it's called, Dan?
It's a Gretsch.
Any advances on that?
It's Country Cowboy. I don't no idea.
I think it's a G6118 Players Edition, maybe and a double anniversary.
G61 18T Live. Oh, Live will be pleased.
Live is the colour, I think.
Yeah.
It's a Players Edition, so that means it's got locking
Anniversary.
tuners.
You got to. How did you know? Your memory is eerie.
Yeah, well, I did work on a guitar magazine for a long time. You just have to remember these things.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Or
Yeah.
at least I always find that remembering about 80% of it is the golden spot.
Sure.
Oh, it's nice to see that.
It is lovely to see it. I am limited with gain options. I thought, well, all I'm really going to be able to do is ambient delay type stuff. I thought into the Vox, it'd be really, really lovely to hear this because also I've got a little bit of...
This is. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Let's start then. So Dan, talk us through. Forget the pedals.
Okay.
Just talk us through how you would approach getting your bass tone with this guitar and this amp before we add any pedals.
Okay.
And while he's doing that, I'll set up the levels.
Okay. Perfect. I'll need a cable. First things first, I'll need a cable. So with an AC30, the biggest tone knob on an AC30 is the volume knob because things change so drastically depending on what volume you're at. I think it's even more... All the vintage Voxes I've heard, even more so.
Yeah.
Old blue speakers, really well worn in, bit cranky, as you hear, probably needs caps redone, but the tone of it changes so much at volume. So what I want to do is I want to get it to a volume that it's happy, that I get a bit of feedback from this guitar, so that I can play some sustain stuff and, primarily because of the lack of drive. Obviously, they've got compressors and stuff, which will take care of that. But I need the amp reacting to the guitar.
And preamps.
And yeah.
Come on then.
All right. So here we go.
What's ace on this, I'll do a detail of it. On the normal channel volume, there's a bit of tape that shows between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock that says clean, crunch.
Yep.
So I'm guessing we want to go up from there, do we?
Well, we're on clean at the moment, right?
Yeah.
If
Well,
now-
it's actually, I've put it midway between.
Okay. So you'll hear, if you turn up a little bit from there, if you put on the crunch,
Yeah.
I go to the bridge pickup here, and you'll hear how much it changes. So oh, it's such a amazing thing.
Is there any tone control on there, or is that
There,
it?
on next to this volume switch,
Yeah, here.
there's the
That's just a cut though, isn't it?
it's just the
I
cut.
don't want any
No.
less cut.
No,
There's a mid frequency there that's quite honky,
yeah,
which you like.
I do.
So give just
see-
maybe a bridge pickup then, and give us.
That was the bridge pickup.
And what about when you just turn the volume down a bit? How does that affect that? The neck joins in a different place. So he
I'm
doesn't-
going,
he doesn't
where?
know any of the frets
Oh,
are.
there it is. Yeah.
So you happy with that? You wouldn't change
Yeah.
anything?
No, well, see, if there was a mid control on that, I would go and turn the mid down.
Yeah, me too.
The thing is, when you hear that in the mix, it's like, it's magic.
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
you know, because of those frequencies.
It is killer, and what they say about the chime on top of a Vox.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I rather hope there'll be a ton of comments where people are like, "Stop! Don't go any further. That'll do," because that's the sound of ages, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so beautiful to hear that again.
Right. So the way I would approach the two rock is, a lot of people associate two rocks with the kind of Dumble lineage of amps, which either means very overdriven and mid-focused like a Dumble Overdrive Special, or really, really loud like a super clean Dumble in the vein of Stevie Ray. This amp isn't really that. It's more, I've described it many times as a super reverb on steroids. And once I've set it to where it's going to be, we'll invoke Noel's knobs
I wonder what the settings are.
to explain where it's ended up. Now, there's a lot of options on this amp, so I'm not going to explain them. I'll just dial it in and then you'll see what I've chosen when I get to the end of it.
Shall we turn this off while you're getting
that's
there?
fine.
You right?
So I'm just wondering if one of these pedals isn't true bypass.
Yeah, the Del-Verb will be buffered.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because I'm hearing a buffer.
Yeah.
And I like that in this case because it's making it nice and bright, but I can hear that the bright switch is on. So it might be that in time, depending on how the fuzz and the overdrive work, it may well end up getting turned off, the bright
Sure.
switch. But that particular kind of brightness is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And really nice for the positions 2 and 4.
Right.
That's leaning on just too much, actually.
Sure.
That's starting to sound really buffered to me. So we'll knock the bright switch off. Contour. I'll just crank the master up a little bit and it might go up a bit more. And there's just one thing I want to check. There's a tone defeat knob,
Right.
which takes the tone stack out of the front end of the amp, and it makes it considerably more gain through the front end.
Sure.
Not in an overdrive way, but just in a more kind of way.
Nice.
What's that hitting?
104.
Yeah, so it's not, it's, the master volume genuinely is on less than 9 o'clock. It's a ferociously loud amp.
Yeah.
But what's happening now is the amp is breaking up a bit.
Yeah.
And I kind of want that for,
Okay.
for the fuzz. I want it
Yeah.
to break up. I might just get it to break up a tiny bit more. It's also on the 100-watt setting, which gives me maximum headroom. Now, I might be worrying the preamps here, but... That's putting out some serious dBs.
It's beautiful.
There's a lot of bass. So in a live mix, you might want to get rid of some of that bass. But for the time being, I'm liking it.
It's great.
I'm just going to take a couple of dB out of the mic, out of the pre's, the mic pre's, that microphone into the desk preamp. I'm going to turn that down. And I've got a prediction I'm going to make now.
Okay.
The fuzz is going to hate the buffer in the Del-Verb.
Okay.
But we'll see. We'll see. If indeed that is what's happening, it sounds to me that's like what's happening. Cool. Happy. And as you could hear, there's a fair bit of reverb dialed into the amp.
Yeah.
Why would you want reverb in an amp and a pedal? We'll get into that. Tell us about your pedals then.
Okay. Right. I feel that we should start. Okay, let's start at the front. So we have the UA Universal Audio Max. So basically it's a dual preamp compressor pedal. And I mean, I'd never really looked into this, but it does look flippin' fascinating.
I had a conversation with David Leonard at NAM, who's, I think he's VP of sales at UA. We know David because we did the UA video with them back along. By the way, I promise you, it was genuinely random that 3 UA pedals comes out. It does look like a fix, but it was genuinely random. I'll show you the ping pong balls. He was really psyched about this.
Right.
Because he was saying you get all those things that you might recognize if you use UA plugins
Right.
in your pedals.
Okay. The question I've got that I don't know. So these are the plugins in the pedal.
Tweaked for guitar use.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming then that there's no analog drive-through in this.
That's a question I don't know. We'll look into it. Answer on the screen.
Okay. All right. Right. Here we go. So you've got 2 sides, comp 1 and comp 2, and you can turn them off on and off independently. You've got the switch in the middle, which basically tells you what knobs you're turning. So for example, if I turn on comp 1, so here's our So this is on the FET preamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so Opto 1 is on the LA2A. Opto 1, sorry, Comp 1 is on the Opto LA2A.
Yeah.
And then Comp 2 is on the FET. So
you've basically got 3 of UA's most loved compressor plugins: 1176, LA2A, and
the Dynacomp.
the Dynacomp may be less loved, but anyway.
Yeah. So I mean that gain sound from this is amazing. Yeah, man.
I'll tell you what's mad about that. So Dan said if he could choose, he would have a mid control on or if there was a mid control, he'd turn the mids down. Compressor's doing that job for you.
Yeah.
How much cleanup have you got? Because I think if we get to this video and people don't hear clean tones from that Gretsch, they're literally going to throw things through the screen. There's a huge amount of compression going on there.
Yeah. Because I'm feeding one compressor into the other.
Yeah, and that's going to take a minute just to dial in, but already it does sound produced.
Yeah, right. Okay.
In a big way.
Yeah.
Which would you have on?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd necessarily have them both on together, but I like one and I like them separately.
Yeah, or I guess if you had more subtle settings of the two,
sure,
you could
stack them.
For example, have a Dynacomp feel on the front, but then 1176 it in a big way. So does the signal chain go that way?
I don't know.
It must do because you got Comp 1 and Comp 2. So can we just try that?
Yeah,
so we'll
sure.
try a quick Dynacomp then on one. I don't know what's going to happen here, but. So what I've done there is I've set the attack. I'm assuming that down low is fast.
No, to the right is fast.
Ah, okay, right. Sorry, my mistake. Quite a fast attack, quite a slow release.
Yeah.
And then let's put the Dynacomp in front of that and see what happens.
Wow.
I turn the Vox like down a hair.
Right.
Just to help you with a bit of that feedback. I think we're slamming the crap out of that.
Right.
I actually think we're running that really, really hot.
Okay.
So to dial everything back would probably yield a few more musical results.
Okay.
But it sounds killer.
Yeah. And it feels really nice to play as well. That's lovely.
Okay.
All right, so that's that.
I'll tell you what, I'll do one.
Okay.
Second, first pedal for me is the Fjord Fuzz Berserk. Pete Honore has been telling me how brilliant these pedals are
Right.
for years.
Okay.
Berserk is basically a take on a fuzz face,
Right.
but with less bottom end bloat and more high end presence. And
Interesting.
not quite such a brutal cleanup.
Okay.
Because for those of you who maybe aren't regular viewers, my favourite fuzz pedal is a Jimi Hendrix JHF1 fuzz, and that with a Strat just cleans up instantly within about one notch on your guitar. So we'll see how this fares. They recommend it into a slightly crunchy amp. The Two Rock is slightly crunchy, but I'm one of those weirdos that likes fuzz into clean amps too.
Okay.
So let's see what we get. Volume. It's got gobs of output.
Yeah. You sound like Philip Sayce.
Take me home. I have no idea what the controls do. This is obviously volume, and this must be some sort of... I did look for the manual, but I couldn't find it.
Right.
Is this like...
That's got a ray gun on it.
Feels like it's fuzz.
Yep.
And that feels like it's some sort of mid or bottom, is it?
It's an input level.
Bang, henge.
It sounds awesome.
I am liking that in a big way. It is. I might have to turn the Two Rock down a bit because it is bonkers loud.
It sounds awesome.
That is... I am a fan.
Yeah.
Let's just check the cleanup a minute. Obviously, I've... Oh no, don't turn that one up anymore. Turn that one up to maximum. That one to about there. That one can go down a bit. It's crazy loud. I'm home.
It's brutal.
Absolutely. Is that... Yeah, you enjoying that?
Yeah, like brutal in the most beautiful way.
That's killer.
It's a yeah.
I
it's
do.
a sledgehammer
I
of
am
fuzz.
really keen to hear it without the Del-Verb in line at some point,
Sure.
just to see if that is true bypass or not.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that Nordvang is it's like
Oh, Nordvang could
if one of those is a
Yes.
clon type thing.
maybe the clon is not true bypass. That's really interesting. Okay, I'm not going to waste too much time finding out here, but I'll put the information on screen.
Okay. Right. Number 2 for me is the Daedalus.
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 Yeah.
Daedalus.
It's the opposite of night in Dallas. It's Daedalus.
That one.
Yeah.
So it is a dual reverb with expression. Right. Really interesting. I've seen this sort of design used a couple of times before. The Rich, aka Churd,
okay.
makes a similar thing.
Yeah.
But this has got two
gone fishing effects.
Gone fishing
for those
effects.
of you who didn't catch that.
But this has got two different reverbs, preamp level, depth, and blend. So here we go. Okay, let's see if I can get unconfused. Right, the reverb controls the overall amount of reverb, similar to a wet-dry mix knob. Reverb 2 controls the amount of reverb when the right foot switch is engaged. Oh, okay, so...
Yeah.
Right,
okay.
so you can have a small amount of reverb or a heavy amount of reverb.
Right.
So it's basically two different presets.
This isn't doing anything now?
Yeah. And the blend controls how much of the external pedal or device is heard in the reverb trails.
Okay. Right. So that'll be a TRS jack then, and
Right.
you put something in the loop. So
Okay.
you could affect the reverb with a phaser or a flanger or a delay or whatever you wanted to affect it with.
Right. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're not going to hear
nice.
that today.
No.
So as it is, we've just got two stages of reverb. Then.
Yeah.
got nice pre-delay on it too.
That's really cool.
So I gave you an 1176 type compressor there. I turned the gain way down,
Right.
and the compression way down, and we were getting a much nice cleaner response out of it. So
Beautiful.
that's pretty sexy.
Yeah, I like
think.
that.
Okay, Nordvang 83 drive. This is the version 2. I didn't know anything about this. It just so happens that 2 of my pedals are from Scandinavia. Nordvang from Denmark, and Fjord Fuzz from Norway, obviously.
Okay.
Please say it's Norway and not Finland. I think it's Denmark. Anyway, whatever. Guess what this is?
Tube Screamer and a Clon.
Blues Breaker and a Clon.
Okay.
I know.
Amazing.
So I'm literally home. Let's figure out which side the Clon is then. Let's just check that. Side A. No, features the Blues Breaker style circuit. Side B, K style circuit.
Okay.
Okay. No compression there whatsoever.
What's with the clipping?
I don't know, just want to find out. Feels like it's softer clipping in the top.
Right.
I don't know. Well, I'm going to try not to keep doing this because it gets really frustrating to watch.
Sure.
But my guess is that it's softer clipping in the top and harder clipping in the bottom, or less clipping in the bottom. Hey, because we all need less clipping in the bottom. Oh, actually, up it's germanium, down it's a Schottky.
Okay.
Which, I don't know, sounds softer in the top to me, and the transient attack sounded more below.
Okay.
I kind of like it both ways. It sounds like there's a compressor on.
It's amazing.
Okay.
Lovely. Just lovely.
Very nice. Blues Breaker side, I should be expecting more gain on this side, but let's see. I know it's this amp, but that's killer.
Yes.
No?
No. So just do the low switch for me. Is it a three-way switch?
Doesn't seem to have a huge effect. Oh, there we go. More lows in the down position.
Yep.
More default, most. More lows up, default in the middle, most down.
Okay.
I go for
Just-
more. Go on.
Okay,
What-
yeah.
What do you want?
No, sorry. I want to hear between the more and the most.
Yeah. I'm in that situation where my fingers want to do stuff down, but my brain wants to do stuff, and my fingers don't. That's really killer.
That's my favourite dual drive yet, of that style. With
Yeah.
the Klon Plus.
And so far, I would normally have the Klon second, but in this instance, I prefer the Klon first.
That sounds utterly fantastic.
So the last question then, one thing that I love and that makes this amp work with the regular pedals that I use, a fuzz face and a Klon, is when you stick the fuzz on and then you put the Klon on afterwards.
Okay.
It's insanely loud today. That was really very nice. I just feel like there's some serious quality on here. I am still going, that fuzz is too damn bright.
Right.
With the whole... whether there is a buffer happening or not, I don't know. It's really, really bright, and there doesn't seem to be a way to tame it.
Sure.
Obviously, that's going to be really useful in a live mix, because the biggest complaint about a fuzz face is that it sounds mad. It sounds like huge and fluffy and wonderful and amazing, and then you get it in the band and it's gone.
Yeah.
So I think that's really going to come to the fore
Live.
in a mix.
Yeah.
As it is going into my ear, something about the high end is doing me in a bit when I turn the volume down.
Sure.
And I do have the bright switch turned off on the two rocks. So
Yeah. Well, and so maybe I don't know if there's anything internal.
could be.
Yeah, but worth having a look. Okay.
Yeah. All right, good. Nordvang, that's the first Nordvang pedal I've played with in anger, and that is
It's.
properly good.
I
Sorry,
think it's amazing.
we shouldn't say good. What we should say is I really, really like it.
Yeah, I think it sounds glorious. Okay, so I'm into UA pedal number 2. This is the Galaxy 74 tape echo and reverb. As far as I can tell, this is a recreation of a space echo.
The sort of colour scheme gives it away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we've got one somewhere. It's over there.
It's over there.
It is green and black. And it does say 74 tape echo and reverb.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
stop you. Can you just give me one skank? That's heads 2 and 3.
Right.
Let's give us a skank. Now, it says here, tap and hold for Performance FX. If you tap and hold, head 2 will be a dotted eighth and head 3 will be a quarter note.
Okay.
I wonder if that is the case. Let's see. So just see if head 2 on its own is now a dotted 8.
Can you turn on the Daedalus and the Comp 2 for me?
Just before we do, I want to see if it will oscillate.
Okay. That's quite the noise.
It's amazing.
That's quite the noise.
This is great.
Yeah, I'm having the feels.
That's really, really great. Now, it would be interesting. So we underwhelmed isn't the wrong word, but when they first came out with the Starlight and the Golden, it was like they packed so much in there. There was quite a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me and Dan, and loads of people got them and like them. I feel like I didn't have to think too hard about how to dial that in.
Yeah.
Quick flick to the cheat sheet, and everything I needed was there. There's only one secondary function on the alt switch there where I wanted to change the tonality of the repeats in the delay, and it's pretty clear what's going on the top panel of how to do that.
Yeah.
Reverb sounds good, delay sounds good, the heads makes sense.
Yeah.
That,
I love that syncopated.
the subdivisions just straight off the tap switch. We should also mention that with all the UA pedals, there's also an app. So if you're into that and you want to get the app on your phone, there's other functionality you can unlock via the app, and indeed beam in presets and stuff, a bit like you would with TC's Tone Print. You can kind of do that, beam presets to the pedal. Personally, I just, my brain can't deal with all of that, and I like having everything on the top panel, and it's all there.
That's my favourite UA pedal so far.
Nice.
Because I'm such a massive fan of,
that-
of the tape delay,
Yeah.
you know, of the original. I just think all the UA stuff, we knew they're going to sound amazing because we use UA every day and all their stuff just sounds great. But this, for me personally, there's something in that really
Yeah, it
ticks a
sounds
box.
nice.
Sounds really beautiful.
Again, for anyone who doesn't watch the show regularly, Dan does have an original 74 is it maybe?
I think it's 76. That
Okay,
one.
76 RE201 Space Echo, and we've made videos on that in the past. It's a unit he knows well. He also has the Echo Fix version of it. So Dan's well versed in tape echoes, just to make that point.
Yeah.
All right,
Nice.
last one for me, the Del-Verb. I can't. We had 20 pedals in that box, and three UA ones came out. Maybe we'll pick from the remaining 6 to 14 for another show.
Sure.
Okay, Del-Verb then. 3 delays, 3 reverbs.
Oh, really?
Well, it says EP3,
Right.
which should be a single head delay. An analog bucket brigade.
Yep.
Well, it says DMM, Deluxe Memory Man.
Yeah.
With various modulation options. Now, if you run it in stereo, you get more modulation options.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens mono. And precision delay, which has a flanger left and chorus right on the mod knob. Oh, I wonder actually if that doesn't mean stereo. It means when you turn it right, you get chorus, and if you turn it left, you get flanger. So
Okay.
what are we
Wow.
there? We're like 2290 land there, are we? That kind of thing,
Yeah. Right.
maybe.
Yeah.
And then reverb, you've got 3 reverbs. One is a spring, a plate, and a hall. And the hall is from the 224. Why is that interesting, Dan?
Because it's next to 226. Neighbour of the verb.
Dan and my favourite reverb pedal is the Chase Bliss CXM 1978, done in conjunction with Meris, which is a modern take on the Lexicon 224, which is, in my opinion, one of UA's best plugins. I use it a lot. I flipping love it.
Right.
So I'm assuming seeing 224 on there
Oh.
means that.
Okay.
And yeah, okay, let's see. One of my favourite settings of it is like a small room.
Yeah. Right.
So anyway, let's dive in and see what we can understand. That's tape age, I think.
Right.
So he's gone to the memory man. So depending on the mode you're in, the colour knob on the EP3 is record level, so you can put more to the tape so it will get more saturated. Input gain on the analog DNM, and on the precision it's the tone of the delay, which is really cool. So the sound I want to hear is the precision delay with chorus. Let's see. Just turn the reverb off in the amp for a sec. Just need to double check something, that the only control for the reverb is one knob.
I can feel the spirit of Pete Honore coming over me.
Pretty sure the reverb's only got one knob, and it might be that there's more in the app. But anyway, so my short room's not there, which is a bit of a disappointment. But what a racket.
Not bad for drawn out of a ball bag.
Indeed. Not bad for out of a ball bag. Actually, I'm super happy with that. I got one remaining question, which I will test at another time, which is how much is that buffer, wherever it is,
Yeah.
giving me the brightness? But then the brightness, as much as I'm kind of going, oh, I dial that out. Actually, in a band situation, is exactly what you want.
Absolutely.
It's exactly what you want, and it helps you stay present and heard.
Yeah.
Man,
Amazing.
a killer. I maybe we didn't give the previous UA pedals enough time, but I'm instantly drawn to these in a big way.
Yeah. Me too. I'm seriously
Usable feature set, completely understandable for someone who really, really, really doesn't like going deep diving in menus and all that. Because if you're sat there performing or stood there performing and you need to make a change, you really do need to be able to do it quickly, or I do anyway. And I feel like I could do it with these.
Yeah. Really great work.
Yeah, killer.
Awesome.
Really, really, really nice.
I think as far as the challenge is concerned, it's gone your way today.
I don't know. I would say because you've gone in an unknown direction and been given pedals that are just way out of your world,
This is our new direction.
and you've come up with some really killer sounds. I've gone home with ultimate versions of things I love.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe Hades is actually not here. Catherine is filming today, or at least this afternoon. So she's just about to expire. by
Give up the will to live.
She can't hear. She's got headphones on going, please stop. Yeah, you decide. You let us know what you think. There are no losers here today. That's
No,
for sure.
there are no losers here today.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear my rig because I don't often play it on the show these days because people get annoyed because it's expensive and esoteric and all that.
I don't think anyone gets annoyed.
Some people do.
All right.
So it's nice to play other stuff, but it is also nice to remind yourself what it is you get up in the morning for. And for me, it's this, a fuzz, a clon, and that.
Yeah, it's pretty magic.
So happy days.
Yeah, brilliant.
Happy days.
There we go. Thank you so much for watching. Massive thank you to anyone that's gone to thatpedalshowstore.com and grabbed some merch. It is the main way we fund the show. So, pedals and hats and T-shirts and strings and...
We might even have a few TPS orange bottles left.
Very nice.
Which go with my shoes.
Very nice. For all of our friends in the US, we have thatpedalshop.com. So if you want to get some of this...
Yeah. I'm pretty
sure.
sure the UA stuff's available there. I don't know about any of the other stuff, but yeah, all good.
Lovely.
Anderton's Pedal Empire in Australia. Please check out the links below in the description. Check out the description. There's a lot of information in there, including links to where you can find some of this stuff.
Yes, and of course, massive thank you to our patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. Our VCQs on Monday, our patrons get that as a podcast, as well as monthly giveaways.
Indeed. I'm about to expire.
Beautiful. Lovely.
As is this video.
Have a
See
great
you soon.
day. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.